is Joe Ebanks, and I'm just letting you all know that the Joe Ebanks Show is for paid programming. I accept all liability from the show. My guests will accept theirs and all callers, and I am not affiliated in any way with the Paramount Group of companies, its managers or employees. Hi, K-Man, and welcome. Welcome to the Joe Ebanks Radio Show right here on the Vibe 98.9 FM. So I want to open up this evening by letting you all know that we're now in the final stretch to the election, final stretch to the end of corruption. And we're seeing more and more come out. We see what's happening now with the Airports Authority. We see the conflicts of interest that's coming out in news articles. We're seeing more and more of the media jumping in and covering some of this and pushing. We know there are more people stepping up and revealing stuff. More and more stuff is coming my way on a daily basis. In fact, it's becoming a task just to sort through this stuff because I simply will not say or divulge anything that I can't prove, and we have that. So thus far, I've given you what I've given you, and I've provided the evidence. Everyone understands that what I'm saying here, what I've been divulging has been the truth. I'm putting it out there. Most of it I've gotten off of the compass, doing research. It's just stories scattered across the web that I'm pulling together, and the evidence is all there. So we have that. Now, we're in the final stretch. Here's what you can expect to happen to me now over the next couple of weeks, because I'm telling you, the corrupt elite is not going to let me just get away with this. Okay, so you have to think of this as a 3-round boxing match. Okay, we're in the second round here now. And what we can expect at the second round, the first round was me coming out swinging. Second round is going to be them. I'm sure by now that they've regrouped, rethought things, their strategy. They've come up with some more cash. They have extra people in their party now because all of the corrupt elite is going to just pull together now and say, hey, he's coming after me too. So they've pulled together. Taylorism, we're going to end. That's not going to go away. We're going to end that. And we're going to take the corrupt elite to jail. We're going to take them to court, and the courts will do what the courts will do. But what you can expect to occur to me over the next couple of weeks is that they will now come with a full frontal attack. They're going to come at me with everything that they can possibly think of, dream up, everything. And it's okay, because this is par for course for this business, Once you're out there and you're making a difference, you have to be stopped by corrupt and elite individuals. So they're going to come very, very hard. And they'll gang up. Politicians and groups will gang up. I expect that even some of now let's separate the groups so we're clear in how this occurs. We have the UDP, we have the PPM, and we have the C4C. Those are the three parties, political parties in the group that we have running in this race. C4C, PPM, UDP. And then we have independents. And we have some little relationships like Ezra Arden relationship, and we have more that'll form. What you can expect even from some of the independents is that they're going to get paid by the C4C, by the corrupt elite, and paid to attack me. And they will attack. They're going to come, and here's how they're going to do this. They're going to use several forms of attack. One, I may get arrested again this evening, tonight, tomorrow, next week. They're going to use the RCIP. They'll bring more charges to begin with. Secondly, I'm sure they're going to use the media. The media will run more stories and twist things to fit. Like I told you, last election, same thing was done in 2009. 2 days out from the election, full front page article that attacks you. So you can expect this to happen to me again. This is going to come again. The other thing that they're going to do is they're going to come into your living rooms and they're going to say it to you face to face. And they're going to say, and then they're going to make little statements, and they're going to, drop little hints to begin with. And what they're going to be doing is testing to see how committed you are to ending corruption. Because they're real cowards, you see. And they're going to do that first, and then if you actually make it clear that you don't support me, they'll open right up and they'll start the attack in full force right in front of you. So if you want to be entertained for a little bit, you can have that done too. And then the other ways, some of them are going to do it from their platforms, and these are the ones who are just going to put it all in the line. They've checked. They don't have a whole lot happening for them, so they're going to come with full frontal attack. These things are going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. So I just want to make it clear to my supporters out there. I want to make it clear to my family. I want to make it clear to my friends. This is coming. Hell is coming my way. The thing is, I've been waiting for it. I've been praying for it. Because I'm telling you, Now we're going to see just how fearful people are of going to jail. And let me tell you something, Dan Scott, old boy. I got your summons. I'm going to see you in court. And if you think that this is going, serving it right before I come on the radio show, have you heard any change in my voice, Dan? I know you're listening right now. I'm going to see you in court. Okay, buddy? And we're going to talk about how your brother, and this is some of the things that Taylorism is going to have to answer, is how did you all know about a cabinet decision to suspend me? Because you're going to have to answer this. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, here's where we are so far. Here's how we got here. Let's just tell the story of how we got here to begin with. One, I get this call. I refuse to fix a bid for the Deco Dark Group, 36 megawatt bid. I get this call on a Friday evening, March the 1st, and I'm told by Emil Scott that I'm going to be suspended. They're saying that, he said, last thing we do, we're going to see you in jail. Okay? So I get this call. I get notified. The Saturday I go to work. Saturday I'm working. I'm refusing the Deco bribes further. I'm refusing to take their money up to $500,000. They went and I refused to take. 30 minutes after my final no, I get suspended. We had Pata call into the show. You all remember that. She confirmed it was after 5. She confirmed it was a Saturday. Now, we all know that my position by law as the managing director of the ERA was, in fact, appointed by cabinet. The board does not do that. Cabinet has to do it. So cabinet agreed to give me the job, and cabinet had to agree to fire me or suspend me or take action against me. So we know that decision resides in cabinet, and the governor signed my contract, and the governor signed the suspension. Now, the big question is, how did the C4C know before I knew? Okay, so we know that exists because that was posted up on Facebook, the Facebook that they want to sue. That was posted up on Facebook before I got suspended. And it was a post to Stephen Barreau, and there was a post that included Winston Connolly. And I said, for the threat I received last night, you two C4C prima donnas, take what's coming your way. And this all occurred before I was served the summons and the suspension. Okay? So then 4 days later, I'm arrested. You've seen the search warrant that was used at my house. I posted it up on Facebook. You've seen that there. You see it's a defective warrant. We go to court. I'm charged with 29 charges. We know about that. So we know that before I get charged, my lawyer and I are asking, why am I being investigated? Why have I been arrested? And lo and behold, we're not getting a response from the RCIP. But Ezard gets it. He gets on his talk show on Rooster, and he actually reads it all out. CNS posts it up on their news website. So they got it before me and my lawyer got it so that they could read it out. We talked about that yesterday with the Bill of Rights and just how many of my Bill of Rights have been infringed upon by Taylorism, by David Beans of the RCIP, and by the C4C. I mean, the era what is just thinking that they own the country and they own Joey. They can do pretty much what they want to do with me and do with you too. That's pretty much how they feel. Okay? So we know these things occurred. We know that. We know there's corruption because there's nothing I have said that you all don't know about. And I haven't produced evidence for. And bear in mind, I've produced a little bit of my evidence that I came into this fight with. I've saved a lot of mine. Most of this other stuff, like more work permits being issued by boards that we need independent investigation on. We know that Ezard and his buddies, while he was chairman of the work permit board, wrote to the Ritz. That email is up on my Facebook page. You can read it. Many people have copies of it now. If you want more copies, just send me an email at joe@candw.ky, joe@candy, and I'll send you copies of all this evidence. Or you can be specific about which bits and pieces of the evidence you want. I'll send that too. So Ezard has not been charged, even though I understand he's off island now. And I know that the police is in Northside beginning to do some questioning. And I just want to break away from a little story just to say, I'm asking David Beans, did you warn Ezard that the police would be in Northside doing some investigation and questions some people? And that's the reason he's left the island. Because, it is so unusual for a candidate to leave the island this close to election day. So I'm just asking. I'm not saying you did. I'm just asking, did you? So you can answer that publicly. And to his committee, there's more to come. There are members of Ezra's committee that has done no wrong. You are good people. And I'm saying to you, you're going to be fine. I'm not saying to you that you should leave. I'm saying you're going to be fine. But there are others, and there's investigations coming, and these are coming. They're not going to go away. So these are things that are happening now. We can expect the full frontal attack on Joey Ebanks now. This is going to come. And this has happened to me before in the past. It's going to happen to me again. And no matter how long I'm alive and how long I run, it's going to happen. Okay? That's just the way it is. So it's par for course. To everyone out there, I have told you, beware. I have told you that this is coming my way. I may get arrested again, right? Maybe after the show. I've just gotten the summons from Dan Scott, so it's begun. I have a little message for the Z99 DJ. Let me explain a little something to you, Mr. Work Permit Man. Let me make something perfectly clear to all you work permit holders. The days of you denigrating Joey Ebanks publicly is over. And the days of you denigrating in the Caymanian in my presence is over. Your boss can't save you from me. Be very careful what you say about me, son. Because I'm telling you right now, those days are over. This country belongs to me. It doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to Taylor. It doesn't belong to David Baines. It doesn't belong to any of you. It belongs to me and the Caymanian people. This is ours. We've invited you here as our guests to live amongst us. You show some respect. You stop the denigration, or you leave. If we're so bad, you should leave. Because the days of that old saying about, oh, Cayman is such a great place except for the Caymanians, those days are over. You will never be able to say that again. Ever, ever in my presence. The rest of the Caymanians can speak for themselves. Quite frankly, I'm willing, and I've made it clear that I'm going to do whatever it takes to eradicate corruption in this country because it's caused just too much poverty. And I was listening to the Rooster Talk show this morning. I want to say to Austin Harris, you are absolutely right. It costs a whole lot less to get rid of it than it costs to let it stay in place. So we need to get rid of it. So I want to I've sent this out on Facebook to all media houses, all of you. Caymanian Compass, when the Ledger from CNS, Cayman 27, Rooster, Compass, all of you, Radio Cayman, every one of you that exists, Cayman Net News, I'm inviting you to come on my show and let's talk about corruption. Let's talk about how we're going to eradicate this in our country. And we don't need to call anyone's name. We can talk about this problem that we have, these mentally ill individuals and what they're doing to our country and how they're destroying it. How they're living beyond their means and cheating in order to satisfy their gluttony. So I'm inviting you to come on. We can talk about this. I'm more than willing to come on your shows as well. More than happy to be interviewed about this. Just let me know. But I am not going to go away with this, and I'm not going to stop fighting corruption. To the people of Northside, let me tell you, we have a lot of things to do. We've got to hit the ground running. I need your support. I'm asking you to please give me the benefit of the doubt. I'm telling you, they're going to come with a full frontal attack. You remember the last time, folks. You remember the newspaper, full page, came out 2 days before. It was a holiday, and then it was taken around the entire district. And those of you who are conservatives and very good decent people in Northside, many of you that had an influence on. And then you remember that right after the election, nothing occurred. So I'm asking you this time to please give me the benefit of the doubt. Please give me the benefit of the doubt. You heard a lady say on here yesterday that some of the independents do not want to come on here. They're afraid. Well, what they're really afraid of is the speed in order to keep up. And it's not, let me tell you all something. I am no brilliant man. I am no genius. I'm none of that. What separates me from the pack is one thing. I really care. I really care about these issues. You know how much it hurts to walk around canvassing and knocking on people's door and finding they're in the dark because their electricity has been cut off? Do you have any idea how painful that is for me? To hear people who have not had food, meat in their diet for months in my country, while the corrupt elite drive around in their $60,000, $90,000 cars and live in their multi-million-dollar homes and continue to steal everything that isn't nailed down. No more will we suffer this way while they live the good life. No more. So they're going to come with it all. Let them come. I'm here. I'm waiting. I've told Taylor, bring another 92 charges if you want. I don't really care. Bring it all. You've violated every right I have in the Bill of Rights. You've done it all. If you had any decency about you, you'll actually withdraw all these charges now. That's really what you would do. Because this thing is out in the public domain. People know. And all you're doing now is racking up what my lawsuits are going to be. And I know you don't care about that because it's the taxpayer that has to pay that. I know that. But you need to know it's not going to end there. I don't care where you go in this world. I'm going to find you, and I'm going to run ads on you in every media there is wherever you live, and I'm going to tell them what you've done here. And we're going to prove it. We're going to get our independent investigation, and we're going to prove it. Because this is not going to be another Eurobank case where you all come in here. You disobey every law that we have. You had Gibbs break every law we had. All of this. 3 times this guy perjured himself in a court. And he gets to go home scot-free and get a nice, cozy job. The governor of the day didn't really write a press release that he's left because he's resigned because he's fearful of his life. And you guys get to cover that up and do whatever the heck you want to do in our country. That's not the relationship we started out with, and that's not the relationship that you're going to continue to do in our country. We need a relationship with England, one that is mutually respectful for one another. And when you come into our country, and you refuse to obey our laws, that's disrespectful. And then when you tell us we can't see the tempura file that we paid $10 million for, that's disrespectful. Who are you protecting? Who's in there that you need to hide from us knowing? What is so wrong with letting freedom reign, let the people know what's going on? So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to find that. And we're going to have our independent investigations. We're going to have them. And we're going to find out who's connected to who. We're going to find out who told Emil Scott that about my suspension. We're going to find out who that board member called when he left me. We're going to trace everything back. You can't hide. There isn't a rock big enough for you to hide that we can't trace all of this back. And you'll be surprised at just how much we already have. And if you think for 1 second that Joe Ebanks is bluffing, you're very wrong. As you can hear, Danny boy, I'm actually looking forward to seeing you in court. And we'll be able to settle this once and for all. And we're going to talk about freedom of speech, and we're going to talk about how you, as chairman of the Legal and Judiciary Commission, is attempting, and all have made so many attempts to silence and prevent a candidate from having his say in this election, including the lawsuit threat to all the media and media houses in this country. That, sir, that's also, if your lawyer hasn't told you at Maples, that is an infringement upon my rights too. Do you understand that? So you're infringing upon my rights when you do that. So we're going to talk about all of that. But to the people of Northside, let me just say we're ready. We're going to get our low-income housing. We're going to get it as we start. So my first meeting is on May the 7th at 7 p.m. It's right there in the Frank Sound Park. I'm going to be there. I'm inviting all of you to come out. At that first meeting, we're going to talk about all of the plan for the upcoming 4 years for us, what we want to do. And then at the second meeting on May the 14th, I'm going to meet with you all right there. We'll have someone with a desk there, a table, taking names for persons who qualify for low-income housing. We're going to make sure that we get that out of the way. And the individuals with the money, the private sector with the money, with connections to Northside, by the way, folks, is people with connections to Northside. They're going to be ready and on hitting the ground running with me on May the 23rd once you elect me. It's time for us to move forward, Northside. You know, it's time. It's time now to send Ezra home, send this gentleman home, send him home. It's time to fire the guy. Look around the district, and if your life is better as a result of his representation, then I say to you, please re-elect him. If not, it's time to give me a chance to move this district forward with you, to work with you, not lead you, walk side by side with you, and we go together and move forward and help make some of these plans a reality, because these are very, very doable plans. So we're going to go to a break. I have some guests coming on. I had to spend a little time just recapping on where we are, how we got here. The fight against corruption is real. The whole world is beginning to take a look. And the whole world is beginning to contact me, and there's going to be more coming out in the tempura in England, and we're going to get access to it here, and there's more to come. There are more investigations that have begun. But they can't stop all investigations, you see. But the one that you, the people, need to start demanding is that one where, the Auditor General, Louis Bouchard, on the ERA audit, 2011 audit, what happened to those funds, why was it covered up, and include the chair of the board in that as well. We need to have the one done on Ezra and these work permits. Why hasn't the governor and the commissioner of police taken any action on any of this? What's happening with this? What's happening with the chief inspector's allegation dropped on the governor's desk for corruption by the commissioner of police? Why has the officer who's racially assaulted and insulted another police officer been transferred to the BRAC and away from the public? What's going on with that? How many lawsuits do we now have against the commissioner of police by officers? I think there's 3 or 4. So these things are real, Cayman. This is really happening. This is not a dream and this is not a nightmare. These are issues that we've left to fester for too long, and it's time for us to end it. It's time for us to bring an end to this so we can start anew, afresh, and start making sure that you, the people, get back control of your country. You've been saying for years that the Caymanian people are an endangered species. Well, here's your chance to change that. Don't just talk the talk. Let's walk the walk, because I'm walking the walk and I'm not afraid of anyone. So, folks, you're either going to stand up and fight with me or you're going to cower and hide. And either way, Joey's going to fight the fight, because I'm not going away. This is the only country I have, and I'm not going to die leaving my country behind in the hands of the corrupt elite. To do that would to be a disservice to my children, and I cannot, and I will not do that. So we're going to take a short break. I'm going to get my guests, bring them in. We're going to be able to have a chat. We have Mr. Webster, the independent candidate for the District of Bordentown, with us. Juliet has rejoined me. This is part of her invites. So sit back, relax. You're listening to the Joey Ebanks radio show. This is The Vibe, 98.9. And remember, we're going to take your calls as well. It's 946-9898. I don't want to be the premier. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Caymanian, Jamaican, English, American, Filipino, black men, white men, yellow men, all men. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this country, there is room for all of us, and the economy is strong enough to provide for all of us. Our way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost our way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded this country with hate, has sucked us into the misery and heartache. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. A financial industry that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than a financial industry, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will become more violent, harder, and all will be lost. The web, radio, and the social media has brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in man, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Through Facebook, my words can reach millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators will die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. RCIP, don't give yourself to brutes, men who despise you and enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as fodder. Don't give yourself to these unnatural men, machine men, with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men and women. You have a love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate. Only the unloved hate. The unloved and the unnatural. Political candidates, don't fight for slavery. Fight for liberty. Fight to liberate the Caymanian people from economic despair. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke, it's written, the kingdom of God is within man. Not one man, nor a group of men, but in all men. Not Taylor, in you. You, the people, have the power. The power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. So in the name of democracy, let's use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new Cayman, a decent Cayman, that will give people a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill their promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free this country, to do away with economic barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a country of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Caymanians, in the name of democracy, let us all unite.
6474 and let them install a state-of-the-art security monitoring system that will keep your home as safe as a castle. Caribbean Security, 945-6474. Keep yourself safe for your own security.
There are nearly 60 people running for Cayman's Legislative Assembly. Now more than ever, your voice needs to be heard. Don't let the volume drown your message in the noise. Make sure your message is heard every day by the stations that reflect your lifestyle. Remember, as in every election, but especially in this election, every single vote counts. Contact Paramount Media at 949-8423. That's Paramount Media at 949-8423, and make sure your voice is heard.
Haven't had the chance to head up east lately? Not a problem. We're bringing East End to you at Lukia on April 25th at the National Museum. Stop by our courtyard on the waterfront for mouth-watering traditional food, thatch good onion exactly.
Live the music, live the vibe. 98.9 The Vibe.
I'm not afraid to take a stand,
Hi, welcome back, Cayman. Welcome back to the Joey Ebanks radio show. Before I introduce my guests and turn it over to my guests, I just want to say, because I've been asked several times today if my mom is sick, and you know, some people said that they heard she had a heart attack. Actually, my mother gives heart attacks. She don't have heart attacks. So my mother is fine. She's as strong as a lion. She called me a few minutes ago. She's good. So thank you all for asking. I know a lot of it was out of concern, but she is really, really fine. To my knowledge, I mean, unless it just happened. She and I was just on the phone. So she's good. She's ready for the fight. She's been briefed properly, and she's good to go. I don't think anything more can be said to shock her anymore about her son, so we're good to go. So I have in my guests. Hi, Juliet. How are you? Welcome back.
Hey, I'm good. Thank you.
And we have Mr. Webster, the independent candidate one of the independent candidates for the District of Bordentown. Good evening, Mr. Webster.
Yeah, thank you, and good evening, Steve.
Thank you very much for coming as well. Thank you for joining us this evening. So, Juliet, why don't you just take us away, because I'm sharing this show with you now this evening.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, as you know, Webster is one of the candidates running in my district. So,
oh yeah, that's right.
So I'm a little bit selfish. I want to know what Webster has to offer for the people in Bordentown and why I should vote for him.
Okay.
Yes, Julia, thank you. You know, my committee has instructed me to participate and utilize the social media. And Juliet has invited myself to share my views on the said program, and that's why I'm here. And thank you, Juliet, and thank you for those that are in charge of the center here to give me that privilege.
So, Mr. Webster, as a person who I haven't yet made up my mind about who I'm going to vote for in the District of Bordentown. I think it's 4 votes that I have, but obviously you are looking for one of those 4 votes, if not the only one. So what is it you have to offer me as a citizen and in the community of Bordentown, and why should one of my votes go to Arrington Webster?
Well, Juliet, I've been working at the fire department for approaching 32 years, and I have been studying this political arena for 26 years, and I have concluded that this beloved island need a new and improved style of leadership, and I want to make a contribution to that.
Okay.
I, Juliet, believe that we need to use sound judgment. You did say that you not sure and your mind not made up yet. We not got too much time left.
So it means that I might not be voting then.
we need to, we need to examine the individual's character, the conduct, and the integrity. I started my intended drive from the 1st of April in 2012. And then I put my posters out there very early so I can give people enough time to examine those attributes, character, conduct, and integrity. And I do believe that I am a fruit with no spot, no bad spot. You can examine that, though. You don't have to take my word for it. Mouth can say anything when I learn to talk. But I do believe that I can make a positive contribution in terms of offering a new and improved style of leadership. Joe, let me just share. The email you sent me, it said, for 1 hour you give me the privilege of utilizing this social opportunity.
It doesn't mean I can't ask you questions, though,
And I want to say that I have a schedule also, and the email did reflect it at 1700 hours at 5 o'clock, and it gone beyond that. I want to apologize for telling you this on air, but I don't have the hour now to share with you. But I will compact what I had the intentions to share. I do believe that we have tried this party system. This system that we tried from 2001, and I believe it has failed us. This system is a system that's not given us the best opportunity for all the parliamentary members to work together. We like to follow the world a lot when it comes to follow fashion. But I say from 2001 in 3 consecutive election periods, I say 3 strikes, you're out. We need to install a different system in our parliament, a system that will gives us a higher possibility of all 18 individuals in that parliament to work together. 18 now based on the 2009 Constitution. 18, I believe, is too many. 15 prior to that was already too much. Small population we got. They're overpaid in there. And the privileges that's there with the ease of pension that they have there also has to be revisited.
So let me interrupt you for a second. So with what you're saying, are you giving me the impression then that when you go into this parliament as an elected person, that you are going to change some things? And are you going to say, let me look at pension, let me look at salaries, and let me make a change to them and lower those benefits? Is that what you're saying?
You say make a change to them. I'm not going to exalt myself. The Lord exalts me. But I'm going to make a contribution to reflect the change. 32 years, and if I had stayed at the fire department 4 more years, I would have received my full pension. I made a sacrifice. I said, let me sacrifice that to contribute to a new and improved style of leadership. I believe that you have investors that will come here with the intention of turning this Cayman Islands into their own little utopia. And they will probably start by getting the option to have the South Sound Key, number 1, and then start with the shoreline from the high water mark down to build their luxury private dwellings. You got some here now that want to control the high water mark area as it is. It won't happen on my watch. I will do all what I can to hinder that. But yes, I will make a contribution to change this unfair option of receiving a full pension in such a short period of time. That is unfair to the general public that need to work so much years to receive the same.
Okay, so you are an independent candidate, and I asked this question of the independents that I happen to talk to. How can one man make a difference?
Joe,
You're saying that the party system isn't working, but that's a group of people who have the same, I guess, I wouldn't use the word mindset, but they're following the same path, and they probably agree on most things because they're part of one party. So as an independent, how are you going to make a difference?
I want to first share this. Anyone that you hear say that independent candidates can't get anything done, if they are in there as incumbents, take them out. If they're planning to go in, keep them out. It simply means that they're not willing to work with everyone that's in that parliament. We are paying in this 2013 general election, in this time, we're going to be paying 18 members to do policies, carry out policies that reflect the best interests of the 54,316 citizens based on the 2010 census. All 18 of them need to be working together. We can't be crying our spilled milk in there. What has been spilled is spilled, and leave it as such. We need to be working together as a team. Let me share this. When Joseph went to Egypt, he too was by himself, but he made a difference there for the better. My motto for this 2013 general elections is reach out and make a difference. Let me say this. In the parliament, if the Bordentowners send me there, I will not be an independent candidate in there. I will be a member of the 18-person team that's in that parliament. Outside of that parliament, I will be an independent candidate. I won't be hanging out with anybody. I will not be bound in a caucus of any group of people. I want to say this, that the Bordentowners will be my team once I'm outside of that parliament, under the stipulations accordingly that I will be going by.
So when you get into this parliament and you have a motion or something that you want to bring forward and you want to get the approval of your other members, how are you going to, let's say, lobby them, for example? How are you going to get their buy-in to what it is you're proposing? Obviously, you're going to have initially Bordentown as your interest because that's the district you're representing. But how are you going to get other 17 members of the parliament to work together with you? Because it doesn't just happen automatically, does it?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, I told you a while ago I'm going to be like Joseph when he ended up in Egypt. He had the Lord with him. My emotions is going to reflect national interests. If individuals want to shoot national interests down, then that simply means that their interests and their motive was wrong from the beginning. On my campaign drive when I started, some of my committee members, they said, well, we need to open up this account, based on on what we need to do that reflect the outputs and the inputs of the account. I say, what inputs you're talking about? They say like sponsorships. I say, which sponsorship? Because I have no intentions of receiving any sponsorships from anybody. When I go in there, I don't want to have to scratch anybody back because they scratched mine prior to the option I have of getting in there. That's why I don't want no scholarship, no sponsorships from them, Julia. I want to say this. The little money that I saved, I will spend that on my drive. It is structured. I have that. I have a plan to do what I'm doing, and that's what the island need to a plan. I have that plan, and I'm going to stick to that plan. I don't want any sponsors from anyone. I will make my motions, and if it's shot down, I know my motions has national substance, and if some of them are and somehow directly relate to district level, but it's still national when we look at it overall.
Well, I want to ask you about this hot topic thing that's going on in the district. Everybody's talking about the dump being moved to Bottom Town. Now, with all the information that I've been reading, it's not referred to as a dump except by some of us who are so familiar with that term. But it's supposed to be a waste management facility, from my understanding. Are you in favor of this facility being in the district of Bottom Town? And if so, why? And if not, why not?
Well, Julian, I do believe that the Cayman Islands need to look at a new method in dealing with our waste management, mainly of our garbage. They cited Mount Trushmore probably about 68 acres, and it got some dangerous things in there. For example, they got a bunker there that accumulated things that from the lumber, the wood, and thing after I-1 that they wanted to burn and so forth, and they found out that they couldn't do it because of the arsenic that it had in it, and they created this bunker and they stored this stuff in there. That's a dangerous site. But if the engineers that we have can deal with that site and install a proper waste management facility there, I'm not convinced that they can, and I'm not convinced that they cannot. I would like to be, though. I would like to be properly informed what the options are. I would say this, that based on one of the talk shows that I had with one of the previous ministers, it seems like that it could have been carried out there physically. And he told me that it would have taken in a range of $100 million to install that, to get that site prepared to install that facility. We need to make sure that we got our priorities right. Education to me is priority one, but that is a hazardous site. The site now that is proposed is in Bottom Town. I don't know how they arrive at that site, but I would like to say this, that the people of the Cayman Islands need to be properly informed of the best site to install this waste management facility. We have departments that we are paid public funds to. The Department of Environment, Department of Environmental Health, the Water Authority, the Petroleum, and the Planning and the Lands and Survey. They need to get together collectively without any involvement of anyone that stands to gain from either remaining for either the site of where Mount Trushmore is to deal with it there, or repositioning it. Anyone that stands to gain from that need to be out of this discussion. We already have the departments in place to give us information and what we should do. The impact study that has been carried out has been paid by a developer, and I said that shouldn't be. We have already got these departments that have this expertise. The impact study should have been carried out by them so that it will reflect the disadvantages and the advantages, and the people of the Cayman Islands can weigh the advantages and weigh the disadvantages to see which one weigh more.
So you're taking it back to the drawing board, basically, if and when you're elected. From as me you speaking right now, I would say that it is fair to say that we need to get back into the discussion of exactly how we're going to deal with this proposed waste management facility that I do believe that we need. So you're not against having a waste management facility, but you just believe that the way it was approached was not the correct way, and the location may or may not be the right location. What happens after you have been briefed and you've studied it and you've decided that it should be in the district of Bontown as proposed, how would you, again, let's assume that that's the conclusion you come to, how would you get the people to buy into? Because ultimately, if you move it to any other district, you may have the same issues.
The waste management facility, Julia, thank you, it need to be installed somewhere. That's number one. But we need to make sure that the people of these Cayman Islands knows the total cost for installing this facility and the total cost for running this facility. And
Let's come back to that because I think you have a call on the
Yeah,
line.
we have a caller on the line. Caller, are you there? Hi.
Mr. Joey.
Hi, thank you for your call.
Yeah, man, big up the radio show. I really respect it, you know.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I got a question for Mr. Arrington, Mr. Webster. How you doing? Good day.
good day.
I get to understand that you've been with the fire service for maybe 20-something, 30-something years. In your professional experience, I won't say opinion, what is the conclusion that you came to? How are the local firemen being treated, salary-wise? How is the management at the fire service? And how are they compared to the other uniform services?
Well, I only been working at the fire service. Thanks for your question. I'm not too sure about how the structured management in the different agencies are, but I want to say this, that I think the fire service is a very important agency, and what I would like to see is the uniformed services, which includes the fire, to be under a different pension scheme plan, to be under a different retirement plan, and to be under a different salary scale structure.
Okay, do you think that this is an issue that needs to be pushed with the MLAs in the House?
I do believe the emphasis need to be put in ensuring that we take care of the uniform services that include the fire service, yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for your call, caller.
Okay.
And that's a very good question with that gentleman just asked you, because we tend to hear that the fire service, the guys are there, they're washing the trucks, they're cooking their food, they're not doing much of anything. We tend to hear that. How do you defend that?
Well, that happens sometimes, but they're come non-duty, and there is a lot of risks there. They arriving on how fire service should be compensated for the duties that they carry out. What should be considered is the risks that they're taking and the stress level. When we combine the risks at the stress level and then include it along with the different schemes that we have from the utility fire workers, we then see that the fire department individuals there that retire, if they retire at 60, as the public service pension scheme now have in retirement, then it's good chances that when that individual retire at 60 as a frontline firefighter, that he is not going to be in the right position to enjoy his retirement. He is going to be disabled. The anatomy of the human body is not going to cope with those stress level and the physical activities that has to be carried out there. So he's going to be a good chances that he will be disabled and not in the right and good position to enjoy his retirement.
Okay. So, one final question for you before we let you go. Let's say that come the 23rd of May, you are elected and you become a member of parliament. What do you think, or what would you say is number one on your list for the district of Bontown? We're talking at it from a district level. What is your number one priority for Bontown?
Juliet, I circulate now a manifesto, and one of the things that reflected on the manifesto that relates to my electoral district of Bontown is to form small community teams in the small community areas of Bordentown to enhance social development, safety, and I want to say this, that in these small community teams, the leaders for each one of these small community teams should make up the Bordentown District Council. It should not be politically formed. We can't get the best. I'll say that it's not, when it's political form, it's not effective deployment and effective utilization of our citizens. When we use this method that I just described and installing these small community teams and these leaders of each one of these teams that make up the Bordentown District Council, now this District Council, the first task for this council is to draft up a vision plan. Without a vision, a good chance is that you not get too far in. But I'll say the vision plan should reflect, for example, a vision, where would we like to see Bordentown in 2030? And it reflect national social development and economic development for Bordentown. And that will be integrated with our national development plan that I do believe that the country needs. We need a plan at a national level also that includes our master ground transportation plan, all of the strategic statements that is reflected in the 2008 document, and the conservational laws and guides. If we had that plan in place now, we won't be thinking what we should do with our waste management facility, mainly garbage, and nor would in the next few years we won't be in a similar position to find out what should we do with our waste management in terms of our sewage. We need a plan, and the plan has, all we need is one plan, that curtails all of these things. The conservational laws, the master ground transportation plan, which I believe that Bordentown need a corridor. Another method of getting in or out of Bordentown that was proposed by the senior citizens some time back. We need one plan that reflects all of this. It enhances tourism, it enhances social development, and it enhances the development in terms of construction in general.
So what it seems to me is that I have to come and spend some time with you now, because I could talk to you about healthcare, we could talk about the new hospital, we could talk about all these other things. So it means I have to set a date with you now and come and sit down and have a chat.
Yes, you are a constituent member of the District of Bordentown, Juliet. What I want to say to you and all of the members out there that are the constituents of Bordentown, to cast your vote with sound judgment. Examine their character, their conduct, and their integrity. The scripture says you will know them by their fruits, not by what they say, but by how they live, how their lifestyle is. Examine that, and that will tell you if you can hold them accountable for what they say. A beautiful color manifesto, a big stage by Bassif and lights and all kind of different colors, balloons and all of that. But look at their lifestyle. That will tell you. Juliet, and you and all of the other constituents of Bordentown, when I give you my manifesto, you want to use that as an evaluation tool to evaluate me at the exhaustion of the 4 years to see whether or not I was a person to my word. All of the 12 objectives that I got there that I would like to bring forward, you want to track me on those. So don't take that manifesto and throw it away after 2013 election, May the 22nd. You want to use that as the evaluation tool to evaluate me, so that you can see that I'm a man of my word. If God forbid, though, if when I bring my motions to reflect the national interest of these points that I have on my manifesto, God forbid, like I said, if they get shot down because of these advantage scratch back deals that need to be done in priority to our national interests, then so be it. But I know that I will bring them forward. I want to say this, Juliet, that we got a lot of candidates out there a lot of candidates, 50-something candidates. And we got about round 82 boards, round that area. And a lot of them are sharing the same thing, that they are for Cayman, and they like Cayman, and they're hard, and they are intrinsically motivated for the best of Cayman. Well, listen to this part. If they're not successful of getting in and being a member of the 18-person team that we need in there, then volunteer yourself to be a member of those boards free of cost. That show you where your intrinsic motivation is.
Okay, we have another caller. Let me take the final call, and then we can wrap the show up.
Yeah, thanks.
Hello, caller, you're on
Hello?
there. Hi, you're on there.
Yeah,
Thank you for your call.
I don't think this fits your program, but I was just looking at the news just now, and I was just seeing that this man got a year knockoff, and he stole so much money from Chambers. Is that the people's pension money he stole?
I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with it. It's online, you said?
Yeah, yes, it's on the news now.
Okay. I'll have to look it up and speak to it tomorrow. I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for your call as well. So, sorry, Juliet, Mr. Webster, certainly you can have some closing remarks. We've gone past a couple of minutes, but that's fine. And I want to give you a chance. I certainly want to thank you for coming. I appreciate you coming in and being on the show. But I want to give you a chance for some closing remarks as well for the listening audience.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity for being here again. I want to say this. I will not be affiliated with any colors that are out there. Those colors that are out there are dangerous. If you, the constituents in the various districts, have a favorite color T-shirt out there, and if we don't bud this system now, and you have a favorite color T-shirt inside, it could be a brand name T-shirt too, inside of your closet or in your drawer, and then one day you decide to put it on and walk into a certain area, it's good chances that you can walk back out with inflicted injuries. We need to bud this system now. Our fight is not against flesh and blood. I don't care who the leaders are or who the members are. It is the system that is a failure. We need 18 individuals to work together for the best interests of the population at large.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I join Joey in thanking you. Thank you, Joey, for giving me the
Sure,
opportunity.
absolutely.
Appreciate it.
And Juliet, you can have some closing remarks as well. I know you've extended to several, and I want to say that you're free to do it again. Let me know when you'd like to come on. Again, you and I and Patrice will be on Tuesday. We're going to talk about the economy.
Right.
And we need to talk about that. We need to have
definitely.
a very frank discussion about how we're
Absolutely.
going to, some ideas, some suggestions, even for now, to help people move forward for now and what has to come. So I want to give you the opportunity for some closing remarks as well, Julia.
Well, all I wanted to say was to thank Webster again for coming and sharing where you're coming from and what you're looking forward to after May 22nd. And I just encourage any of the others who are running in the election, especially for Borden Town, because that's where I'm voting, but it's extended to anyone outside of the district. Come and share your views. Let us have an opportunity to hear from you. Some of us don't get to all the meetings, and I know that a lot of the civil servants are so afraid to go to the meetings. But we need to hear from you. And this is going to be one interesting election.
Yeah. And I just want to add to that, we've extended this to everyone. Initially, I said it would be a cost to the party members. I wanted this show to give independents a chance because they're running on a much tighter budget. And it would be free. But it's free for the party members as well. It's democracy is what matters. So everyone that Juliet reaches out to, you're free to come on. We'll make sure you have your adequate time. And you can speak. Let people know, because we're getting calls from people who, after yesterday's comment, saying, hey, you need to let these people know we're not coming to meetings, we can't get out. And we listen to this show to hear candidates and catch up on the issues. And that's one of the reasons I want to thank Mr. Webster for coming in as well. And ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the program. Certainly we'll be back here tomorrow. And I'm going to be back here Friday morning too. We're going to go to Friday mornings as well, starting this Friday, I think. I'll absolutely confirm that tomorrow. And we're going to come on the air on Friday morning. So I'm going to kick your mornings off on Friday and take you into the weekend. It's some good old Joey Ebanks radio show. We're going to leave you right here now. Let's give them a little bit of that.